Hi everyone. Hello, can you hear me? Kindly wait few more minutes. We will start the session. Thank you for joining the Azure DevOps demo session. Hi Anjanaskar. Can you hear
Hello.
me?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. I can hear you.
Good morning, sir. And
Good morning.
people already joined, few of them, and others are joining in few minutes.
Okay.
Uh, you can give your introduction and start the session. And hi guys, Anjan is your trainer, and he will be presenting the demo on Azure DevOps. And if you have questions, you can ask at the end of the session. I'll unmute you all at the end of the session. Thank you. Anjan, you
Okay.
can start.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Shiva. So, hi guys, hi everyone. My name is Sanjan. I'm having around like 7+ years of IT experience all and above. So, yeah, for the last 3+ years, I'm giving training on Azure DevOps. So, my skill set includes Azure IaaS, Azure PaaS, multi-cloud architecture, Azure DevOps containers, and PowerShell, JSON, ARM, YAML and Terraform scripting. So yeah, today I will be your host. So I will be showing you what are the topics or what are the learnings that we are going to have in Azure DevOps. So I will be going one by one. I will be going a bit slow so that you people can understand. Okay, and at the end of the session, like whatever issues or whatever things you have or whatever queries you have, you can please shoot out to me. I will be happy to help you. Okay. Yes. So starting from above, guys, please let me know if you can see my screen. Shiva, my screen is visible, right?
Yes, sir. We can see.
Okay, sure. Thank you. Thank you for the confirmation. So, first of all, yeah, we will be going to the agenda. So we will be going to a bit of Azure IS concepts. Azure IS concepts means basics of the Azure IS, because I will just show you. So we have our portal, that is portal.azure.com, where we will be working on these parts. So, see, Azure is a cloud provider, and Microsoft has three offerings, that is Azure IaaS, Azure PaaS, and Azure SaaS. IaaS means infrastructure as a service, PaaS means platform as a service, and SaaS means software as a service. So, we have our IaaS components like this. Compute, networking, and storage, where the IaaS components that are is there is virtual machines, app services, and images, disk snapshots, and all those things are there. In networking, we have our virtual networks, subnets, Azure load balancers, application gateway, Azure traffic managers, network security group, then subnets, firewalls. So all those things are there in the networking. And in the storage, we have Azure storage accounts, Azure recovery service vaults. So these things are there in Azure IaaS. So I will be giving a brief of Azure IaaS, a brief, because it's a different training actually, all of above. So it's for the AZ103 certification. So I will just show you AZ103. So yeah, yeah, you can see that Microsoft Azure Administrator. This is the certification. Okay. Now coming back after that, we have Azure PaaS. I just now told you that Microsoft has three offerings. So PaaS includes platform as a service, where we have app services where you can host your .NET application, Java, Golang, Python, any applications that you want. You can host your applications over here. After that, we have API management services, CDN, content delivery network, API connections, API app service environments. So these things are there, and we have Azure Spring Cloud also. So Azure Spring Cloud is actually a hybrid cloud environment. So as you know that the cloud can be divided into three parts. One is public cloud, one is private cloud, and one is hybrid cloud. So we have a public cloud like AWS and Azure, and after that GCP, Google Cloud Platform, and we have for each of the cloud, if the client wants to go into a specific domain, for example, we have our banking clients, or we have our military clients, or government clients. So for those kinds of real-time, in real-time scenarios, those clients wants to have a dedicated infrastructure for their environment or for their applications. So at that point of time, they can go for the private cloud. And if the workload is being distributed among the cloud and on-premise, like the front-end applications has been in VMware, the back-end application is hosted in Azure App Service, and the database is in on-premise physical server. So that kind of environment can be achieved in hybrid cloud, and those can be implemented using Azure Spring Cloud. Okay. Coming back to mobile, we have app services, notification hubs, Power Platform. So this is the mobile service. And then comes the database, like you have MongoDB, which caters to the NoSQL architectures or NoSQL databases. So in Microsoft terms, we have Azure Cosmos DB, we have SQL servers, Elastic pools, managed instances, virtual clusters, database for MySQL servers. So this part comes under the Azure PaaS, which is AZ203. So this is the thing, this AZ203. Okay, so this is the certification. So web, mobile, and databases, this comes under the PaaS option. And one more option is there, just like big data. I guess you guys have heard about Azure Big Data, like it's for the data engineers, like for like Azure, like Azure have their own components, the components that are non-Microsoft products, just like Azure, just like Big Data, Hadoop and Pig, Scala, Spark, Hive. So all those things are there, which are non-Microsoft products, which are open source products. The same alternate products that are available in Microsoft's are Azure Data Factory, Azure Data Lake, Azure Data Bricks, Azure HD Insights, Power BI, Event Hubs, Azure Log Analytics. So this part will come as the Azure Data Engineer, and the certification for that is DP200 and DP201. And one more part is there for the Azure security, that is using this one, Azure Event Grids, Azure Logic Apps, integration environment, and Azure Stack. And with that, we have the Azure security, which is very important, with Azure Active Directory. It comes under the broader domain IAM, Identity and Access Management. So we have Azure Active Directory, Azure AD Connect, app registrations, and Azure governance, management for the enterprise application to do the app registrations, Azure AD business to customers, AD B2C. So all these things are under identity and the security, where we have Azure Key Vault, where you can encrypt your username and password and you can use the path URI in your code base. After that, we have Azure AD Sentinel, AD risk detections, and information protections, AD disk encryption. So all those things are there. So integration, identity, and security. This comes under AZ500. Okay. So yeah, so this is for the security. Now I am coming for the Azure DevOps, that is AZ400. So AZ400 is the Azure DevOps certification. So here we will be working on Azure DevOps organizations, application insights, API management services, API connections, and with Azure DevOps, I will also be giving you the training on containers. That will be an added thing from my side, because that's what I give. So it will be Azure Container Instances, ACI and ACR. Azure Container Instances, Azure Container Registries, and ASF and AKS, Azure Service Fabric Clusters, and Azure Kubernetes Services. These four things I will give you an additional training, because this is very important. And nowadays, containers is one of the best application hosting product or architecture, you can say. So Azure Fabric clusters or Service Fabric clusters, ASF and AKS, are actually used for microservice deployments, not for monolithic architectures. And these are the container services in Azure. Okay, so this is part of that. So just this is the thing. So AZ103 is for the Azure admin, AZ203 is for the Azure development, like Azure PaaS, AZ500 for Azure security, AZ400 for Azure DevOps. We'll be dealing with Azure DevOps. Now, apart from that, I told you that Azure have three portals or three URLs. One is portal.azure.com, which is the main Azure portal. We have our adf.azure.com, which is the Azure Data Factory.azure.com. I told you for the data engineer, like big data, Azure Big Data. So Azure Databricks, Azure Data Lake, Azure Data Factory, I usually work on this portal. And we have our DevOps portal, that is dev.azure.com. We will be working on that. So this dev.azure.com. Okay, let's go back over here. So this is our dev.azure.com, is just an like test project, demo project that I've created. Okay, so let us go back to the so why Azure DevOps? Why Azure DevOps? So let us go back over here. Okay, so you can understand, earlier we are having AWS DevOps or the open source DevOps, you can say. You can say it's open source DevOps. So what we need to do, we have to have different things for that. Like, I will just tell you, yes. So you can say that we need to have our Jenkins for the CI or for the continuous integration or the build. We need to have Ansible Tower for CD, which is continuous deployment. Okay, we have to have our source code repository. So two types of repositories there. One is source code repository, one is binary code repository. So source code repository, we will be having GitHub, Bitbucket, Subversion. For the binary code repository, we will be having Nexus or JFrog Artifactory. For the user story tracking or for the tasks to be implemented by the employees or by the team, we need to have a Jira. For testing, we need to have JMeter or JUnit. For containerization, we need to have Docker or Kubernetes. So in open source DevOps, we need to have these all the tools for the implementation. So what Microsoft thought, that why not have the alternative world of tools under a single umbrella? You can understand that for the planning, And for the build you need to have this like Docker or npm. For the planning you need to have these options. For continuous integration we need to have Jenkins. For deployment we need to have Puppet, Chef, or Ansible Tower. For operations, like these are the logs that we want, like Splunk, Nagios, Zabbix. For continuous feedback we need to have different ServiceNow or different ticketing tool or Cucumber. So this is the open source DevOps that are available. So uh, i- while client understands that it's very difficult to take the enterprise license of all the of these tools, and it is cost inclusive also, because a lot of cost will be inclusive into that. So when Microsoft thought that let us make some robust product where all the things, optional things, alternative of these things will be available under the single umbrella, and then they have discovered Azure DevOps. So why it is very hot in the market, and yes, so why it is very hot in the market and they are booming like anything, because you can see that we have our Azure boards where in these boards we can track our user story, track our features, track our tasks. So if you want to new items, and after that you can add this, I will be showing you one by one. So this is how we can see. So here issues is there, epics is there, we can add the boards. So here we can do the issue tracking or the task tracking or user story tracking. So it's an alternative of Jira. We have our Azure repos, which is the alternative of GitHub or Bitbucket or Subversion. So you need to understand source code repository. We don't need to go for the enterprise license for all those things. We have our GitHub over here. That is the Azure repository. So it will be having our repository. We can have our Git repository as well as TFVC, team foundation version control. If some clients source code repository is in on-premise, so we can have TFVC also. We have our branches, branching strategies, everything will be there. There are many things. So this is the part of the Azure repository. Now why to go for the Jenkins for the build and the Ansible Tower for the deployment? We can have our own build pipelines. There's the build pipelines. Okay, we can have our own release pipelines. These are CD pipelines, continuous delivery pipeline. Okay, so we can have our build pipelines, we can have our release pipelines, and also if we want to do deployment on multiple environment, like I want to go for the deployment in dev as well as UAT as well as val validation environment as well as QA at a single stage, I can go for the deployment groups, I can go for the release in multiple environment at a single point of time. So that thing can also be done over here. Yeah, so after that, why go for the JMeter and JUnit testing when we have our own test plans? The testing team can write the test plans over here, and after that they will be taking the test plans can be included into the pipelines, into the build and the release pipelines, and the test can be executed. Okay, so yeah, this is done, this is done, this is done. Now coming for the binary code repository, why we need to go for JFrog on Nexus? Because see, JFrog you need to take the enterprise license for that. Okay, so this is the JFrog artifactory. So this is also used as dependency. So what is binary repository? Binary repository is a repository where we keep our dependencies of the applications. For example, it's a Java code base. It's a let me duplicate this. Yeah, so for example, it's a Java code base, or it's a .NET code base, or it's a Python code base. So to implement the code and to deploy the code into our front end servers or into our application servers, we need dependencies. There are many dependencies into that. So for all those things, we need JFrog Artifactory, we need custom scripts for the dependencies. So here it is there, like npm, NuGet, Maven, many things are there. Okay, so that's what we have, our own Azure artifacts where we can keep our feeds, we can create our feeds, we can keep our feeds, we can create the dependencies, and after that we can use that. So on the long run, we don't have to take the JFrog enterprise license. It is very costly, so we don't need to take that. And for the containerization, no need to go for Docker and Kubernetes because we have our ACR, ACI, ASF, and AKS. Azure is already giving 4 containers. So see, why we need to go for 8 to 10 different tools, and why we need to go for a different enterprise licensing for that, when all the alternative of those things are available under a single umbrella, where we can go and we can add anything and everything over there. Also, if you have a hybrid cloud environment, then what we need to do, we need to go for the service connections. If you want to create a new service connection to integrate between Azure, like Azure portal or Chef or Jenkins or GitHub, so whatever, or Jira, whatever you want to integrate, you just have to create a service connection, give the URL name. For example, I want to integrate with Jenkins. For example, I'm just showing, I need to give the server URL of Jenkins, give the authentication username and password, admin username and password of the Jenkins. I have to verify, and after that it will be communicating with Jenkins. So if you want to push your repository to Jenkins and do the CI from there, you can do that. If you want to take the code base from Jenkins and do the build and release over here, you can also do that. So to integrate between any non-Microsoft products or external products, there is a service connection that need to be done. There are many things that are available. Okay, so that's what. So we can have, we can implement this. Okay, so we can have an integration or synchronization within a third-party environment also. Okay. So apart from that, we also have these things. We have our agent pools where build servers will be there. So two types of agent servers are there, or the build servers. One is Microsoft hosted servers and one is self-hosted servers. So if we have, see, these are the Microsoft hosted servers. uh, I will show you. So these are the Microsoft hosted servers, hosted agent, where all the capabilities or the things would be managed from Microsoft. If you have your own server, you can implement that, or you can integrate that server over here, and you can give your own capabilities or dependencies. So one by one, when we will be going, we will be going into that. That's not an issue. Okay, and apart from that, okay, let me go to the PPT. So these are the Azure IS concepts. I will be giving basic concepts on that. Azure DevOps, we will be going into entire deep. Now, what I give 1 week of classes on this part. PowerShell, I will be taking class for 1 day. JSON and ARM, I will be taking class for 1 day. YAML, I will be taking class for 1 day. Terraform, I will be taking class for 1 day. And Git Bash also, I will be taking class for 1 day. Okay, so these are the scripting languages that I also be showing you. Yeah, I can understand that the scripting takes time. It's not like you will be master in 1 day, but yes, at least you will be getting 30 to 40% or up to 50% of the things of the scripting. So PowerShell, JSON and ARM, YAML, Terraform, and Git Bash queries. So Git Bash means Git Bash or Git CLI, Git command line interface. So this is the extra things that I am giving with the containers. So so mainly you will get, what you will get, you will get only the Azure DevOps course materials, but they don't give the scripting part or the containers part. So these two things will be also be added into the course, into the course content. And obviously, see, don't do anything with PDFs or Word files. We will be directly be making an account, a free trial account in Azure. So it just take around 13,000. So you will be credited with 13,300 or $200 for a month or for 30 days, and you can use that. Okay. And yeah, you just need an email ID and phone number and debit card or credit card. Only 2 rupees, 2 INR will be deducted, and you will be getting a free trial account, and after that you can create your account. So the DevOps portal, it's available for 12 months. You can practice it, you can do whatever labs you can set up, so you can do that. So we will be doing that. Yeah, so coming back to this, we will be having all the practical sessions on lab sessions only. So these are the 4 things added for the containers. And now, starting for that, so I will be going to the migration and consolidation strategies. Like we will be working with different kinds of codes, or I can say different kinds of yes, okay. So what I'm saying, we will be working with different kinds of features or tasks. I will be showing you the task. For example, you have a .NET or you have a Node.js or Angular. So for example, Node. So you will be getting the Node installer. If you have your Python, so we will be taking the Python task. So it's just a marketplace, and if you see in the marketplace, it will be like full of anything. So this is the marketplace, and each and everything is available. Whatever the task you want, name any domain, name any technology, name any tool from North Pole to South Pole. Okay, name any tool, any technology, it is available in the marketplace. Okay. So yeah, it's a huge world of tasks and world of technology. So I will be showing you many examples and many important descriptions of the portal. Okay. Now, yeah, coming to this, we will be working with Sonar Cube and Sonar Cloud, which is used for static code analysis. We will be working with unit testing and integration testing using VS Test, JMeter, JUnit, and therefore build, MS Build or VS Build. We will be using NPM, NuGet, or Yarn for package management. We will be using Azure Artifacts for the binaries to keep, so as a binary repository. So that's what. So the output of the build pipeline is kept in Azure Artifacts, which acts as the input of the release pipeline. Okay, so that's what we will be working with that. Now coming back to the next, we will be having a secure development process, code integrated static code analysis, just now told by Sonar Cube and Sonar Cloud. We'll be using VSTS users, concurrent pipelines. We will be working on Visual Studio Code. So just 2 prerequisites that you want: kindly install Visual Studio Code and Notepad++. So these 2 are needed for that, because we will be having automation, and most of the things we will be doing through automation scripts and code only. So we need that. And apart from that, we will be working with AKS. We will be creating the service cluster, the best deployment pods. We will be working with SSL and TLS encryptions. We will be working on images, containers, pods, and all those things we will be working with. DevOps development process, that's the thing that I have already explained. We will be working with the CI/CD systems, integration of the third-party continuous tasks, Azure pipeline, agentless and webhooks, and Azure agent pools, endpoints. We will be working with Git branching strategy and code flow. That's the most important thing. Git branching strategy, like the dev branch, val branch, validation branch. So different kinds of branches are there. When at which scenarios what can be used, so we will be working on that. After that, yeah, so manage code quality and security policies. Obviously Sonar Cube, White Source, Bolt, these are the for the code policies for the containers, Docker, Azure container registries. Multi-stage image build, we will also be working. Azure pipelines, for the trigger hybrid cloud environment. So all those things will be there. Okay, for the release pipeline, we will be working if we want to have a release in Azure, like you want to host or you want to deploy the code base into web app, Azure web app, we can do that. If you want to deploy your code base into on-premise, we can also use microservice, Azure Kubernetes service or Azure Service Fabric cluster, and we can directly deploy the code base into Azure into the on-premise environments. Okay, and apart from that, uh, yeah, just a minute. Yeah, so apart from that, we will also be working on the deployment patterns, just like Git branching strategy is there, deploy branching strategy is also there, like at which environment it should be deployed and what will be the artifacts or the input of the release pipeline that will be decided. So all those things will be talking about. Okay, okay, fine. So yes, so apart from that, we will also be working on the, these parts: Azure Container Instances, Azure Container Registries, Azure Service Fabric Clusters, Azure Kubernetes Services. Okay, and we have most of the important things is the scripting part that we will be working with. So for this, I don't know how many people are having what background. So after few minutes, I will be interacting with you and solving your queries. Okay, so that's what. And apart from that, I will also be showing you a few part of application insights and Azure log analytics, which is used to manage the applications or to monitor the applications. Okay, just like custom queries. So I can show you custom queries. So custom queries is kind of a SQL queries only. So we can use custom queries for the monitoring of the CPU utilization, the memory utilization, or the disk usage, disk space of the clusters. So that thing can be used. I will show you one example, custom CPU queries. I have all the scripts available with me. I will show you one by one. I have my training folders. Okay, all those things are already there. I will show you. So this is how the custom queries has been written. So performance counters, where time generated, the summarize, all those pre-existing functions, and these things will be used. Okay. Yes. So, and the most important thing, how I give the training. I give the training in a very different format. For example, when we will be having training, so the first 10 minutes, I will be discussing about the previous class. I will be asking questions on the previous class. I will be asking the doubts. I will be asking the topics, and I will be reviewing. Like every student have got this, and if you have any queries, you can tell that. Next 50 minutes, we will be doing the labs. We will be working on the Azure DevOps. Next 10 minutes, we will be working on the interview questions. Like obviously many of you will be undergoing the training, they want to change their project, they want to change their domain inside the company, they want to switch to different organization. So I will be showing you I will be discussing the interview questions on that topic on that day, which has been covered. So as I take interviews, I know what are the interview questions will be there. So I will be asking you interview questions or the real-time scenarios. All will be scenario-based questions only, because so that you will have a very deep insight and grab of the things. Okay, so I will be asking you interview questions, real-time scenarios, real-time errors, build errors, release errors, how to troubleshoot that. I will be asking you all those things on that specific topic of that day. Okay, and next, so if you have any queries, if you have any things, you can ask me for that. Okay, then 5 minutes. And next I will be showing you, and whatever things I show you when we will doing the labs, I will be showing you my production environment. Okay, I will be showing you my production environment, means my office environment. So this is my actually personal laptop, so I actually joined from both of the laptops. So in my office laptop I will be showing you how the val environment or the dev environment or the prod environment are being implemented. So there are around 150 200 plus pipelines, and many projects are there. So you will be getting a real time scenario, real time environment, and whatever the errors, build errors or the release errors or the issues or the blocker that I face every day in my office, so also that I will be sharing with you, so that you will be getting the real time experience or real time exposure, and you will be into that team, you can say stream. You will be into that stream or into that container where you will be interacting with the real time issues, and you will be grabbing the things so that it will enhance your knowledge. Okay, so that's how I will be doing that. So yeah, that's the thing. So I guess I am completed. Okay, so if you people have any questions, you people have any issues or doubt, yes, sure, you can shoot out to me. I will be happy to help you for that. Shiva, hi Shiva. Hello, hi Shiva. Yeah, can you just open that
One second,
for
one
the?
second. One second, sir. I'm unmuting all.
Okay, okay, sure, 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 no problem.
Manish, you can unmute and talk. Manish, you can unmute yourself.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
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 sir.
I
We
can hear
can.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, please go ahead. Hello.
Yeah.
I, yes, please go ahead, Manish.
No, I'm good. No questions as of now.
Okay, sure, sure. That's good. That's good. Any, yeah,
Manoj, sir. Manoj, sir, can you, if you have any questions, you can ask Manoj.
No, I'm fine. Thank you.
okay. And any other guys, you
Ram,
have any issue?
Anjanil, if you have any question, unmute and talk. Kazmi, Shamami Kazmi, can you unmute and talk? Vijay, Vijay, can you unmute and talk? Shawami, do you have any questions? Anjan, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes. I can absolutely hear you.
Vijay, can you unmute and talk?
Yeah, guys, if you have any questions, you can please tell me. I will be happy to help you. Or if you have any queries, yeah, you can please shoot out to me.
Ramanjanelu, Ramanjanelu, can you talk? I think they don't have any questions.
Okay, okay, that's fine. That's absolutely fine because I have explained each and everything. That's good. So yes, so if you have any questions or if you have any like if you have any other queries, you can please tell me. I will wait for again 2 to 3 minutes, and I have the PDF that I will be sharing with Shiva. So yeah, that's the course content. Shiva, you can please share with them. So I have made that. So I will be sending it to you so you can share it with them so that they can have a look into it, right? Right,
Okay,
right, right,
sure,
Shiva?
definitely. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Hi, thank you all to attend today's session. Kindly reach out me if any questions are there.
Okay, yes, sure. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Shiva, for the nice gesture and the opportunity to describe the things. Thank you, everyone.